How you guys doing? This is Things with Amir Motlagh, episode number 10. This week's been a bit tough. I did have a friend of mine pass away. I got the news that my friend, filmmaker, director, and writer Ad Castillo passed away in the Philippines while shooting his new film. Little backstory on Chris. Chris came from cinema royalty in the Philippines. His father was Celso Ad Castillo, and his father was the premier renegade filmmaker of the Philippines. And Chris grew up on set, and then when he came down here, he was heavy into the Las Vegas punk scene of the 80s and the LA punk scene, the Sunset Strip punk scene of the 80s as well. He had a lot of friends in that scene, some from the Lads, Los Angeles Death Squad, and Chris was an extremely charismatic, interesting character. A little backstory on Chris and how I met him. He was doing an LA film screening series at the ArcLight. He had seen one of my films, Still Lover, and he programmed it. I came and did a Q&A, and I said some ridiculous things on stage, and I think that he found it really, really funny because I was trolling the audience, and we had become fast friends after that. And so we had kept in touch over the years, and I would say in 2011, after we had talked a bit, he had gotten excited. So Chris had done a film that got some good reviews and stuff in I think 2001, I believe, and I don't know if he made a film after that until the last time we collaborated, when he called me and wanted me to use some of my music for one of his films and do a little scene as the character, as my music character, Mirs. And, the film was called LA7. I don't think I don't believe it ever got released, but that's when he got his DIY renegade spirit back. He had gotten a DSLR and decided to just start making films. And he went on a rampage after that. He made several films. He made several feature films in the Philippines. Over here, he was doing a bunch of short films. That was a very funny time because it's like there was nothing that could get in his way at that time when he was excited about doing that, excited about just going ahead and making films again. Oddly enough, he had came up with the name Mirs for my music project. We had been just talking randomly about some stuff. Somehow Russia got involved in a discussion, and the Sputnik, whatever. And he's like, why don't you just name your music project Mirs? And I'm like, all right, dude. I was like, I thought about it for a second, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, let's just do that. And so I did act in his film. Funny story about that is that we were on set. We were in a really interesting location, and during the break, during setups, we're like, just came up with an idea about shooting a music video right then and there. Part of it was just to do it for the film itself, and then the other was that it was going to be a standalone music video, so we just went ahead and filmed that. That was pretty cool. It was extremely spontaneous. That video could be found. It's called Mirs Falls, and it's on YouTube. Yeah, so that was a really cool little filming memory, aside from all the other interesting times I had with Chris. Now, I hadn't talked to I saw him about a year ago, and we were talking less and less frequently, life stuff, mostly life stuff, some little small disagreements about things that just happen with friendships. And of course, so that's kind of the main thesis here, right? So that it's so easy to get in touch with people, and sometimes you see them quite a bit on social media and whatever, and feel like you're already in their space all the time, but it's very different because you're actually not communicating. So you're somehow familiar and close, yet you're not communicating. When I found out he passed, that was one big regret, that we just hadn't talked in quite a bit of time. There was no like little, there was no little back and forth like, hey, what's going on? Or you're shooting a new film. It wasn't nothing like that. And I wish there were, right? Of course. I just wanted to send a hello. Reach out to your friends. It takes a second to reach out to your friends, say hi to them, send a text message, God forbid, a phone call. So that's the thing. I do wish I'd had at least reached out a little bit more often in the last year. Yeah, so that's the story with Chris. I'm going to miss the guy. I know a lot of other people are going to miss him. Again, he was extremely charismatic. He brought everybody into his space. He had a way, and this is like a motley crew of different types of people that he used to just somehow, he was kind of somehow the core of it. Often he was that kind of character. He is one of those characters who had a bit of a larger than life persona. There was just that thing about him. Really, I wanted to say, rest in peace, Chris Castillo. You will be missed. You had a lot of friends, a lot of people who got drawn into your spirit and circle. Yeah. Other things aside from Chris, going forward with this project, this YouTube thing, I decided that I would probably just take there's a lot of fascinating discussions I have over on Twitter. What I think I'm going to do is take ideas from Twitter and basically build episodes based on things that I come across there, and generally things that excite me or I'm excited about or things I want to talk about. There was a discussion about the zeitgeist, what the idea of the zeitgeist is now, and my thoughts on it were man versus the interface, and that's a subject that I want to go more in depth on next time. Speaking of Mirs, as we're talking about Chris, we did drop a new album on Friday. It's called Mirs Singles 1218 1218. It's a re-release of singles, one-off singles from 2012 to 2018 with a new track called Hafez Drinks that was on the Man soundtrack. And I am going to be doing a surprise release pretty soon. I'm not going to talk too much about that, but it is going to happen sooner than later. And I got a phone call, but let me sign out now. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. Call your friends, your loved ones, say hello, say hi, let people know you care about them, you love them, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye.